joined by Shane, who's volunteering at today's event. So, Shane, what made you become a vegan?
At the beginning, it was more to do with health, and I was doing a lot of basketball and boxing, and basically I wanted to just be at the sort of pinnacle point of health, so I did it for health reasons, and because I saw like a documentary about having like a vegetarian sort of diet, so I started eliminating foods. And then slowly I began to sort of watch documentaries and about veganism and about animals in general, and this made me change. So
what sort of health benefits did you see when you became vegan?
I had a lot more energy. I felt that the meat products would just weigh me down. I felt like I had a lot more energy and I could run around a lot more. So I noticed that within like 2 or 3 weeks.
It's interesting because a lot of athletes sort of have a very sort of protein-heavy diet. So I guess did you substitute for other sort of proteins?
I did. I started having the corn products and stuff like that because I started to research. But I did adventure into meat-type products. But I think as I researched even more, I found that I didn't need to actually eat those meat alternatives, and I could get like protein from different foods.
And so what motivated you to volunteer today?
Well, I do work with Bristol Animal Rights Collective, and we do stalls, we do campaigns, etc. So I'm always promoting veganism anyway, like where I work, friends, leaflets, cooking food. So I just thought I'd come along and help out.
So, and I understand you do sort of monthly food samples.
Yeah.
Right? So what's that all about?
We go to Broadmead about once a month. And we do food samples, just awareness, because when people think of veganism, they think you're just going to eat some cauliflower and a stick of, carrot, and that's your meal. And to show that we've got a table full of food and there's no dairy products or meat in it, people are surprised. So it's just for them to eat, try out, ask some questions, and just see.
And what do people think of the food? Are they pleasantly surprised?
At the you got some people who walk past and they see the word vegan and go, oh no, vegans, those lot, don't want to try that. And then you got some people who are a bit more adventurous and they want to try the food and they're just surprised. They just can't believe it. And it's like, wow, is there no egg in this? You sure there's no egg in this? You just can't believe it.
And so what are you hoping from today's event? What do you hope people will take from it?
Awareness, really, of just what's in their food, the fact that we don't really need to eat meat, and just cut down on meat. It's not about just going straight into veganism or vegetarianism. It's just about making that step and just saying, okay, maybe I need to eliminate certain meats and weigh up the pros and cons and then make their own choice.
That's fantastic. Thank you very much for coming along and chatting to us.
Okay.
That's great. Thank you. I'm joined now by Maggie, who's an animal aid volunteer. So, Maggie, if you could just tell us a little bit about Animal Aid.
Right, Animal Aid is one of the UK's largest animal rights group, and it was established in 1977. We campaign peacefully against all forms of animal abuse and promote a cruelty-free lifestyle.
Fantastic. So, what sort of things do you do to sort of promote your organisation?
We have a big school speaker group that we go into schools and we educate or inform children of school ages about different ways of living a cruelty-free lifestyle and different forms of animal abuse that take place, so that we can educate them into following a kinder lifestyle, whether it be a vegan, vegetarian lifestyle, or what you're wearing, or the makeup. Anything that you can establish into your lifestyle that is basically cruelty-free. We campaign a lot for animal experimentation. We campaign against and we promote the government to change different animal welfare rights so we can promote a better lifestyle for our animals. And we also have established a shop where you can buy cruelty-free products. So we do try and promote that you can actually do this without suffering too much. So.
That's great. So you said you go into schools. How receptive are the children to sort of the message you're taking to them?
When we first go into the schools, they're very quite... that you go into them and they have some of them are great and they really want to get the knowledge of what you're talking about. Some of them can be quite cocky until you actually start talking about it and show them videos. And actually you do come out with a good feeling because a lot of the children are actually not informed well enough, and to actually go into the schools and promote it and to actually go into the schools, because a lot of them don't have the knowledge of different lifestyles and how animals are treated. So, and a lot of them, I mean, I must admit, I did go into Bristol once and nobody knew where their milk came from. They thought it was a milk bottle. So to actually promote that kind of area of animal abuse was really good.
So what motivated you to come along to the event today?
Well, I've always tried to promote cruelty-free lifestyle, because animal abuse and animal welfare is very, dear to my heart. And I think if you can live a cruelty-free life, and you can do it, I think it's very good to promote it. And these events are fantastic for promoting that kind of lifestyle that we would all like people to follow.
So what's your sort of hopes for the event today? What's the aim?
Well, I would like to, I know sometimes you are, trying to convert to the converted already, but it's really nice that if somebody comes in from the street that isn't following that lifestyle, that we can actually change their minds and change them in an easy way. People think that leading a vegan and vegetarian lifestyle is really quite a hard thing to do, when in fact it's really not. So I want to be able to promote this cruelty-free lifestyle and say to them, you really don't have to suffer about not having your joint on a Sunday, or wearing your clothes that have come in a very, bad way, whether it's fur or your leather and things, that you can actually do it, and it's a really good way of life. So even if we can change one person's mind today, that would be great.
That's fantastic. Thank you very much for joining
Thank you.
us.
Thanks.
Thank you. Hi, I'm now joined by Matthew from the Vegan Society. So Matthew, if you could tell us a bit about the society.
Sure. Well, the Vegan Society is an educational charity, and we were formed in 1944, so we're the oldest vegan society in the world. And we've really got two kind of aims. On the one hand, the society raises awareness about veganism for the general public, so trying to make people understand what veganism is all about, the reasons why people are vegan. And on the other hand, we try to do what we can to look after people who are already vegan. So by doing things like improving vegan catering in public institutions, hospitals, care homes, schools, that kind of thing. So that's what we do.
What problems do you face in those sort of public organisations like hospitals and things? I mean, is it quite difficult for vegan patients, for example, to get food that they're happy to eat?
Well, it really varies, and it really depends on the level of awareness that people have who are already there is a big factor. So there's no simple answer to that question. So the main thing that we have to do is just to make caterers aware that it's actually quite simple to look after people on a vegan diet, and that there are things that they can do to make familiar everyday recipes vegan by just changing the ingredients slightly. So, and also that anybody can enjoy good vegan food. So once people understand that message, then our job is a lot easier. So it's about persuading people that they don't have to make a special, effort. It's not really hard work to look after vegans. So that's the main thing we try to get across.
Brilliant. And why did you choose to become a vegan?
Well, that's quite a long story, I suppose. I became vegetarian about 20 years ago, or nearly 20 years ago, and I didn't understand the reasons for veganism at that time. So I didn't understand basically the cruelty that's involved in dairy production and egg production. I just simply wasn't aware of it. So by being vegetarian, I thought this was a good way to look after other animals, or not to harm other animals. And it was about 6 or 7 years ago that I started to become aware about dairy and egg production in particular, and I just kind of realised that I had to be vegan if I wanted to live up to my conscience and my values. Then that was the way to go. So that's the main reason for my veganism, is concern for animals and not wanting to harm them and so on.
And the people you work with, does that seem to be the main sort of reasons as well that they become vegan?
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that the majority of people who are vegan, concern for animals is probably the most important reason. So there are lots of other reasons too, but concern for animals tends to be the main one. Yeah.
And what do you hope, what are your aims for the event today? What are you hoping for the people that come along?
Well, I hope they all go vegan. That would be fantastic. That might be a bit much to expect on one day, but I think it's great to have the opportunity to raise awareness with the public about how easy it is to be vegan, about how good the food is. Of course, there's all sorts of other things going on today. There's talks, cookery demos, and lots of opportunities to learn about veganism. So that's my main hope, is that people will go away thinking, veganism's okay. Vegans aren't weird people. They're like anyone else, and this is something that I could do myself in my own life, possibly. That would be great.
So can people come to the Vegan Society for more information? Can they join? Is it something they can be part of?
Absolutely. I probably should have said that, yeah. It would be great if people join the Vegan Society today as well, yeah. We are a membership-based organisation, and the more members we have, the more work we can do to look after vegans and to raise awareness about veganism. So, for instance, we've sponsored today's event, and we sponsor a lot of events like this. So the more members we have, the more of this we can do, and the more people we can reach. So yes, absolutely, more members.
That's fantastic. Thank you very much for coming and speaking to us today.
You're welcome.